Well, so much for this coming out on Mondays. You once again join me in the chair of perpetual purgatory because I still haven't sorted out my room. The reason you didn't get a review last week, Ted 2 as I did promise, and I'm sorry to some of you who actually cared, is because I was moving the rest of my stuff here. Hence the reason this is all being shot on a much, much nicer camera. Well, I say much nicer. Significantly nicer, but not impressively so. Anyway, let's talk about Ant-Man. For those of you who don't know, Ant-Man was supposed to be directed by Edgar Wright, the guy who did Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, and to the incredibly cool kids out there, Spaced. But for whatever reason, potentially maybe money, Marvel films are notorious in the industry for not actually being paid very well. It's just a very nice thing to have on your CV. I don't know, I don't want to speculate. Anyway, whatever his reasons, he decided to bail out. But he is still credited in the film as helping develop the story and the plot and all that stuff, and that does show. This plot is a very Edgar Wright-esque plot. I mean, obviously it takes cues from the comic books and whatnot, but it's still a pretty Edgar Wright-ish plot. And that's a good thing, mostly. Peyton Reed did a good job with what he got given. I'm going to say that right here, right now. He did a pretty good job with what he had. And he had a lot to work with, to be fair, but still. He did a good job. The direction in this is pretty solid. The cast in this is also pretty good, to be fair. Paul Rudd does a really good job, which I was surprised considering it's Paul Rudd. Just kidding, I love you, man. Evangeline Lilly's also good in this, as is Michael Douglas, but then again, he's Michael Douglas, of course he's good in this. The cast in this is pretty solid, but I don't think the cast was the problem here. I'm going to go ahead and say right now that I loved it. I adored it. I thought it was a very well made film. But it's the first Marvel film which kind of felt like it only existed to set up the character in the universe. As a standalone film, if this had come out in place of... This is how I categorize Marvel films. If this had come out instead of Iron Man, would I be pumped about it? And the answer is no. When I say Iron Man, I mean the first Iron Man, the first Marvel Cinematic Universe film. If this had come out in place of that, would I be as pumped? And with most of them, the answer is yes. But not so with this. Not so. It's still good. It's still really good. It's still good. I'm trying to say this as well as I can. It's still good. This is not a Amazing Spider-Man 2 situation. It's a good film, well made, with good people, but it just feels a little bit forced. Certain parts of it seem a bit, pushed, and it only sort of exists to set him up for what he's going to do in Captain America Civil War. That much is plainly obvious with how the character is set up and the characters around him are set up. But no, it's good. It's a very good film. It's a very good, fun summer film, and yeah, go and see it. If you like Marvel Cinematic Universe, go and see it. If you don't, this isn't going to convince you. To be perfectly honest, the first Iron Man should have convinced you, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, before I forget, it's also funny. Like, really funny. Like, genuinely laugh out loud funny. And I really, really like that. Because it's good. The jokes are good. The jokes land well. The jokes land solid, and they're good jokes to land solid. Also a lot of good visual gags here. There would have been more if Edgar Wright had been involved, but I'll take the ones I can get. Okay, thank you for watching as always. If you like this, you can feel free to click the like button below, and if you want to, you can subscribe to see my review next week of Inside Out. Yes, America, it still hasn't come out in here. Please stop rubbing it in. Thank you very much. Thanks again for watching, and I will hopefully see you next week, barring any freak circumstances. Bye.